What's up guys, welcome back to Fancy Goldfish Fanatics. Today we're going to be starting to do some modifications to the new monster fish tank, so make sure you stay tuned to find out more. Hey Fanatics family, welcome back. As always, check out those links in the description and make sure you are following us on Instagram. As you can see, we've got the new studio set up, the new filming position, and as you can also see, the tank is absolutely filthy and it really needs a good clean. So after this video, I'm going to do a big water change and give it a good clean out, give the filters a good clean out as well. But on to today's video, we're going to be removing that horrible sort of blue background on the new tank, and we're also going to be trying to repair that chip and giving it a good clean over. So I'm going to go outside, start doing all the work and just narrate over the top, and then hopefully in a few videos to come we'll finish off the new tank and start to work on the rest of the project to bring that tank to life basically. So I'm going to head outside now and start to do those modifications. Now we've got the tank on its base, I can really get to work on that background. You can see we've got a big chip in this corner, so I'm going to have to deal with that, and I've got a few ideas of how I'm going to do it. We can see that the background is a really thick sort of blue paint that's been applied, and I think it's going to come off quite easily. I'm just going to use this razor blade just in this little holder that I normally use to clean tank glass, and we're just going to have to see how it goes. Hopefully it will come off quite easily. So I already started on it, and here you can see I'm just peeling it off. It's going to be a really tedious process, just peeling that paint off, collecting it, and then making sure it also don't scratch the glass at the same time. And some bigger chunks come off, which make it a lot easier. And so far the tank doesn't look too scratched. Here it's probably taken me about half an hour, but I've removed nearly half of the background, and you can see all that paint in the dustpan lid, and yeah, there's a few scratches on it, but I think it's going to clean up all right, and I'm really glad just to start getting this background off. I definitely think this is the best way. And here is the final product. We removed all of the background, so I can really see the tank now for what it is. You can see that chip in that corner is quite bad, but I'm going to sort that out and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So the next job is to deal with that chip in the corner, and then we can get on to cleaning that glass up. So I will catch you in a minute. So now, as you've seen, we removed all of the background from the tank. So the next job is we've got to clean up the glass, get it nice and clean. And as I said, we've also got to repair the corner, that chip in the corner. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for that. So first up, we need to clean the glass. So all I'm going to use is a bit of filter fleece, and I'm just going to use some water and just gently rub all the dirt and grime off, and obviously all the leaves that are falling in the bottom. And then I'm just going to use a dustpan just to scrape out the water and get rid of it. And then after that we can get on to the next step, which is cleaning the glass and getting rid of all of that lime scale and all of that hard algae buildup. So there we go, you saw me just give the tank a quick once over, just wiped it all down with the filter fleece, just lightly, and then just went round with a bit of kitchen roll just to remove any bits and pieces that were left and try and remove a bit of the water. Because the next step, what we've got to do is we're actually going to be using some vinegar, so just your cheap, super cheap distilled vinegar, white vinegar. So we're going to be using 50% vinegar to 50% water, and then we're going to spray it on to the tank glass with this. So we're going to mix up in here 50-50, probably use maybe a third of the bottle, maybe half, and then I'm just going to spray that all over the tank. Make sure you're using a sprayer that's obviously just had tap water in it and it's not got any chemicals or anything like that. And then I'm going to spray it onto the tank, probably leave it for half an hour, give it a good scrub, and that should remove all of those mineral deposits, all of that calcium build-up, the lime scale, and just really give it a nice clean up. And then after we've done that, we can rinse it all down, wash it all off, and then we can get to work on that corner. I filled up the mixing bottle. I probably put about 60% of the white vinegar in this bottle and then 50% tap water. If you can use RO water, that's even better, because then there's no other minerals that are probably in your tap water anyway, but that vinegar will all break it down. Just give it a little mix, and then I'm going to spray the entire tank, let it sit, and then hopefully that will work. If it doesn't, I'll have to get out the razor blade and remove any lime scale that's left over, or any algae, or potentially use a sort of harder scrubber to remove that. But we want to make sure there's no grit, no sand, etc. in the tank that's going to scratch it when we do this, because we're really trying to give it a good clean, and we don't want any of that sediment or any grit to interfere with that and scratch the tank up. So I'm going to give it a good spray over now, and then leave it for say 30 minutes, and then I'm going to come and rinse it all down with just tap water and rinse it all off. It's good to use vinegar because it's not very harmful to the fish, and essentially it's just acidic, so it's not got any chemicals in it. So once you've rinsed it all down and just done that a few times, there's not going to be any remnants really, and if there is, it's not going to have any effect on the fish, especially once you've filled up your tank and put so much water volume in it. So I'm going to get to that now, and then we can see how it turns out. As you saw, I used loads of that vinegar solution, and I really went ham on the tank because it's so cheap. I think that bottle was like 30p or something, and I only used about a third, half of it, so it really cost nothing at all. Getting it all on the lime scale, and I could actually see it working as I applied it. Where the vinegar was dripping down, I could see it had a little whitish tinge from the lime scale. So I'm going to let it sit, as I said, on here. I did it on the outside as well, just in case there's any build up of anything on the outside. Just really gave it all a good wash, and then I'm going to hose it all down, and then after that we can get to work on that chip, and then hopefully after this video we can get onto the next stages of modifying this tank and getting it ready to get set up. So I'm going to give it half an hour, as I said, and I will see you in a bit. Just while we're waiting for that vinegar to do its job, it's been on there for about 5 minutes now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and repair this chip. It's quite a smooth chip, so it's not very sharp, but what I'm aiming to do is put a sort of a rim around this tank. I'll show you in the next video we do, but I just want to make this flush with the rest of the glass so it doesn't stick out too much, and then it will be completely invisible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some acetone or rubbing alcohol, and I'm going to put it on some kitchen roll and apply it to this area, just so we make sure we get all of the grit and grime out of this sort of crevice, this little chip here. And then what I'm going to use some clear silicone. So this is Gold Label, really good stuff, and I'm going to apply it onto this area, and then I'm just going to use some pieces of card, which I hopefully got in my pocket. Yeah, so I'm just going to use some pieces of card. I'm just going to use them sort of on here to build that corner up again. Now, because the chip is in the top corner, it's not really causing much of an issue. It's purely just aesthetics. If there was a huge chip in the bottom, then potentially it could have some impacts on the structure of the tank, and it could be an issue. But we've got all this bracing in the corner, and the chip is right in the top, and it's not where the silicone is, so it's not connecting to that. And to be honest, the water level is not even going to be that high anyway, but I just want to make sure it's flush so I can put that rim around it and it looks all pucker basically. So I'm just going to apply the acetone onto here, making sure I don't get any on the silicone. I've got to be really careful, and then I'm going to use those cards to sort of rebuild that corner up. So as you saw, the chip didn't quite repair as I wanted it to, but we managed to get that blue background off, and the tank is starting to clean up quite nicely. In the next video, I'm hoping to start putting the background and the trim on the tank. So I'm going to show you the different options we've got for putting a background on the tank, and how I'm going to use that trim to make it look just a little bit better and finish it off. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Remember to keep those water changes up, and happy fish keeping.